Good morning, everyone. This is a special premium public video discussion for a very complicated winter storm that is on the way. And up till about, I'd say, yesterday afternoon, I was pretty confident in the overall themes of this forecast. And really, I still am. But the question of whether or not we're going to see an intense snowfall rate and what the model guidance has been adjusting with, mostly because of some of the convective factors that were taking place in the southern plains and in the southern Mississippi River Valley yesterday, have complicated this forecast a little bit more. So I wanted to explain my thinking and the adjustments I made to the impact map that I've had out through much of this weekend, and what to expect and what are the general complicating factors and issues with this forecast. So right now we have tranquil weather conditions. Temperatures range from the mid to upper 20s over the northern interior, lower to mid 30s in your suburbs, upper 30s to lower 40s in your urban areas, mid 40s down here around southern New Jersey. Not exactly the type of environment that you would want for a significant snowfall around the region, but changes are on the way. And it's part of that is the evolution of this storm that is starting to take shape here. Let me refresh this, and you can see we have a nice upper level low here in the Southern Plains. Should I say in the Mississippi River Valley? That is really impressive. It's starting to really organize very nicely, and you have all this convection taking place here down towards the Gulf Coast here with plenty of latent heat release. Meanwhile, there is your polar short wave, and you can see the timing here is starting to line up. And, this is going to be very important because when you take a look at this 850 millibar map here of the winds and the environment here, we're not dealing with a very powerful polar air mass, at least not yet. So this is a very marginal air mass, very marginal indeed. And that is the key point here. This setup is essentially a play in which this upper level low, this 850 millibar low, intensifies at just the right time at just the right location for tomorrow morning to the south of Long Island. And that location and rate of intensity will determine just whether or not we have enough strong lifting right around Long Island and New York City to overcome this really marginal atmospheric environment. And so when we take a look at the upper level winds here, you can start to see the interaction between the polar and subtropical short waves. You can start to see very strong divergence and diffluence aloft. So this all supports the development of intensifying storm, and that really has never been in question. The question has always been whether or not you have an environment strong enough to overcome the very marginal conditions at the surface, where you have temperatures along the I-95 corridor between 32 and 34 degrees. And considering it's been warm, the reason why this is important is that the ground, your pavement, your grass, your car tops, they have been in a warm environment, and you're trying to drag cold air into that environment, rapidly cool it. And in order to have that process take place, what you need is strong lifting. So you can see the strong lifting in place here with this robust shortwave in the subtropical jet stream. You see plenty of strong, very cold cloud tops developing here, all starting to lift to the northeast. We'll have increasing clouds throughout the day as a result. And you can see on the water vapor satellite picture, here is our shortwave in the subtropical jet stream, and here's our shortwave in the polar jet stream. So they're not that far off to have that interaction. That game is going to be able to evolve to set up that interaction and to set up that intensification. So the ability to pull cold air into the storm is clearly in play and has always been in play. The question comes down to, as this process takes shape, whether or not you get enough strong lifting, which we can see here in the model guidance, to support not only the changeover to snow, but also the intensity of the snowfall being strong enough to overcome temperatures around 32 to 34 degrees. So here we have the forecast for tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. We'll start 500 millibars. Notice the strong lifting focus right on the I-95 corridor as the 500 millibar low swings through. At 700 millibars, same signal, with the 700 millibar low basically tracking through southern New Jersey into the south of Long Island. So the locations north and northwest of that storm track is where you typically get that intense lifting. 850 millibars, same signal. Okay, so your 850 millibar low is tracking to the south of the region, which has always been the case. The question has always been whether or not the cold air at the surface is cooled enough to allow for snow accumulation. And so when we take a look at the temperatures here in at this time period, you can see at 850 millibars, again, very tight gradient here. It's going to remain rain down here in southern New Jersey. You might mix a few snowflakes. In central New Jersey, it gets a little bit more complicated. This looks like an environment where you have rain changing over to snow. And the same thing here, you have some of these pockets, and you can see the signal here for some convective lifting. At 925 millibars, you can see that environment again showing up here, where you have just cold enough to support rain changing to snow here. In fact, let's go back to 30 hours out. This is at 1 a.m. This is at midnight. Look how warm this environment is. Then it rapidly cools and it further cools. And this is a signal here. You see how you get this cold wedge going from basically Maine down into New York City and into central New Jersey. That wedge is a sign of intense lifting. But then here has always been the issue, the surface temperatures. Again, we go to around midnight. Temperatures are above freezing on the I-95 corridor. The only location where you have below freezing or at freezing temperatures is over the interior. 7 a.m., that freezing line is just reaching Long Island. And you can see in the afternoon, it's barely there. So this is not an environment where temperatures are free falling into the 20s and rain change over to snow, and the snow accumulation is easy because temperatures are in the 20s. No, these temperatures are essentially at 7 a.m. right around freezing, between 32 and 34 degrees. So again, in terms of pavement, in terms of treatment and whatnot, and the snow on the roadways, what you would need to overcome this type of environment is very intense lifting. So when we take a look at the model guidance here, with the mesoscale models, you can see some very strong frontogenesis taking shape here at 700 millibars. And this is a signal of very strong omega values, very, very rapidly rising air. And you can see here in the skew T, in order to get that cooling has to happen because otherwise temperatures are above freezing. But you can see aloft, there's plenty of cold air to work with if you get that lifting to take place. So it comes down to this. If this doesn't happen, you could cut snowfall totals around New York City Metro by 3/4. So this is how we're going to play this forecast out. And this is the primary change here is right here in zone 5. We made it a little bit colder. Okay, so let me backtrack here. First of all, lowered snowfall totals over northeastern Pennsylvania. Why? If you have intense lifting here, you're going to have sinking air somewhere. So there's going to be a cutoff down here and cutoff down here because you have to balance out the atmosphere. So in zone 1, this is where you get your 4 to 8 inches. It's all snow, wet snow at that. Due to the intense lifting in zone 5, the snowfall quickly comes to an end by 10 a.m. tomorrow. In zone 2, this is where you're going to have steady, moderate to heavy snowfall throughout the entire storm. So that's where I'm pretty confident of that 8 to 12 inch snowfall. In zone 3, this was extended towards the Connecticut coast and across. And this is your 4 to 8 inch line here that was expected to stay to the north of New York City originally. So we have that cutting through Allentown, and this part of the forecast pretty much remains unchanged. In zone 4, 2 to 4 inches of snow. Again, difficult accumulation on your pavement, but certainly your cold surfaces, your grass and whatnot, pretty easy at the 2 to 4 inches. I knocked that down into Monmouth County because there's strong lifting here. So again, let's say around central Monmouth County, Trenton, easily in that 1 to 3 inch area. So 2 inches is your minimum, 4 inches is your max. If you get intense lifting, there will be slushy roadways, but I think there's going to be a lot of wet roadways too, especially with any treatment. Zone 6 is where you get that rain changes to snow, but about a trace of 2 inches on cold surfaces for the most part. And then zone 7 is pretty much all rain, where temperatures are above freezing anyway, for the most part. Maybe see a flurry or two at the very end. Then we get to zone 5, and this is where it's pretty much make or break. If the intense lifting does not happen, these snowfalls totals are more like 1 to 3 inches on your cold surfaces. If the intense lifting, which is being shown in the guidance, occurs, then you get that 4 to 8 inch snowfall. I would not be surprised in locations like New York City that Central Park ends up with 6 inches. But as you are walking around in your pavement where you have the subways and you have people out there doing the treatment on the sidewalks, that you pretty much just have wet pavement here. While Long Island, where you have a little bit less pavement, you'll see a lot more areas of accumulation in slushy and slick roadways and some snow covered roadways at that. Again, this all depends on the intense lifting, and that intense lifting is expected to be from roughly about 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. to 1 p.m. So, right around the heart of the morning rush hour. Along with this storm, there will be minor to moderate coastal flooding. You have some astronomical influences combined with strong northeasterly winds, tides about 1 to 4 feet above normal. And your winds will be backing from the northeast or northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour, with gusts at times over 40 miles per hour. So definitely be aware of that. For tomorrow morning, it's going to be a rough morning rush hour. So it's going to be an impressive storm. So let's go over the rest of this forecast. For today, clouds will increase. We look for temperatures, again, very, very warm, ranging from the mid to upper 40s over the northern interior, upper 40s to lower 50s along the coast. Our storm approaches, rain developing throughout the region towards midnight. That rain will continue to mix over to snow from northwest to southeast and an intense snowfall tomorrow morning, with low temperatures ranging from the upper 20s to lower 30s over the northern interior, lower to mid 30s on the I-95 corridor, and mid to upper 30s down towards southern New Jersey. That storm exits tomorrow afternoon with clearing skies from west to east, with temperatures rebounding into the lower to mid 30s over the northern interior, mid to upper 30s along the coast. Then the forecast gets pretty easy, with high pressure in control by the time we get to Wednesday, with low temperatures in the upper teens to lower 20s over the northern interior, lower to mid 20s along the coast, high temperatures in the mid to upper 20s over the northern interior, lower to mid 30s along the coast. On Thursday, high pressure passes over the region with tranquil conditions, low temperatures in the lower to mid teens over the northern interior, upper teens to lower 20s along the coast, high temperatures in the upper 20s to lower 30s over the northern interior, lower to mid 30s along the coast. On Friday, an area low pressure passes through with a few rain and snow showers. Not looking for anything significant here with this clipper. Look for low temperatures in the single digits to mid teens over the northern interior, upper teens to mid 20s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the lower to mid 40s over the northern interior, upper 40s to lower 50s along the coast. That clipper clears out with scattered cloud cover expected on Saturday. Temperatures will range from the lower to mid 20s over the northern interior, upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast. High temperatures in the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior, upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast. Another weak short wave passes through with a few scattered clouds and a few flurries here and there. Look for low temperatures in the single digits to mid teens over the northern interior, upper teens to mid 20s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the lower to mid 30s over the northern interior, upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast. And on Monday, high pressure in control with scattered cloud cover expected. Look for low temperatures right chilly in the single digits to mid teens over the northern interior, upper teens to lower 20s along the coast. High temperatures will rebound nicely, though, into the upper 30s to lower 40s over the northern interior and mid to upper 40s along the coast. That is your forecast discussion for today. Have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe out there.